Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and I am taking on another challenge put on by some of my crafting friends here on YouTube. Jody at Southern Seasons, Dawn at Shabby Meets Bling, and Monica at Up All Night have put on this outdoor living challenge. And one of the things that they put in their challenge was you could do something for the porch. And so that's where I am focused on for this video. I have a really fun project plan that reminds me of my home in Miami. And of course, we're in Washington State right now, rainy Washington State. So this just gave me some nice thoughts of sunshine and, of course, the moon over Miami. So come along and craft with me. For this outdoor challenge, I actually went to my local thrift store and they had this frame marked at $2. And I just thought, wouldn't this be really kind of cool to do a picture for our front porch or even on our back deck? It does need a little cleanup, so I will be cleaning up the glass. You can see where there's a couple of smudges on here, but I just brought it in from the thrift store. They had it 25% off, the $2. It was marked. How could I resist? And so once I got this home, I just really started thinking about I don't know. I guess I just got inspired by Monica's Up All Night challenge. And since our video is going to go live at night, and I started thinking about spring and summer a little bit, I just really got the idea to do night blooming jasmine in my photo frame. And so I found this photo online and I am using it for my inspiration in my video. I actually have a photo of my own night blooming jasmine that I took in Miami. So this also reminds me of home. But, you know, the whole thing just kind of came together in my mind. What can I say? I recently introduced our gold and silver shimmer brush pens. So I will be using both of these that are on my Creative Memories website. I also pulled out my Rainbow Pens bundle, and this is the only place you can get these two pens. There's two shades of green, one that's a little bit of a lighter color and one that's a slightly darker. And so we're going to be using both of those as well. As my spring leaf punch, I punched some of our Kelly Green cardstock. And we're actually not going to use the full punch part in this. We're going to be using some of the pieces that come out from the punch. So here, I actually kept a few of those from my punch introduction short and still had them. And I thought, you know what? That would make a really cool leaf coming around my night blooming jasmine. Just bear with me. And then I also pulled out my Birds and Blossoms designer paper because I knew we had this paper in it. Let me set that aside. This paper is what I was thinking of. I just thought it would go really well. And then I found this other one in the same paper pack and I thought, okay, we're going to start to layer some of this. I cut the lighter paper with the leaves that has the stripe on the back. This is a 4x6 size, which is the size of my frame. So that's going to be the base and the back part of my frame. This actually is a double glass frame. It has a piece of glass in the front and a piece of glass in the back. So I think this is going to turn out pretty cool. I cut our green paper that has the brighter florals on the back to 3.5 by 5.5. So this is going to layer inside of our 4x6 piece. And then I thought, you know, hey, let's use white cardstock. And then I cut it and I thought, ooh, I really don't like that. we're going to go with another piece of our lighter paper with the stripes on the back at a 3x5 size. And then I also am going to be using my two-way corner rounder. I do have a little extra. I'll explain about this in a minute or two once we get to that point. But first, let me get my glass cleaned up. Okay, so I have cleaned both pieces of glass in my picture frame, and we'll take a better look at those in a little bit. I am going to toss this piece of paper. It looks like it's gotten a little bit of residual stuff from the pieces of metal here. I'm going to put my little white piece of cardstock and then put my glass back down. We're going to go ahead and set aside our frame for a little bit until we're ready to put our photo in it. Move a couple of my leaf shapes here. Oops. And all right, what am I going to do first? First, I'm going to tell you about my corner rounder and this little piece here. When you purchase the Creative Memories corner rounder, it has a little screw here that can help you to line up your paper if you choose to. What I have done here is I've taken the corner of one of our sticker sheets. You can see here there's a nice wide berth of white. I went ahead and I did it on the sticker sheet where I'd taken the sticker out, which is a little bit easier, because what you want to do is you want to peel it back from the backing from the sticker sheet, because our stickers are pretty thick. I'm not going to do it for this one because I already have it on here, but you're going to place your sticker sheet into your corner rounder. You're going to line it up with the center of your screw, and then you're going to punch. And like I said, make sure you have the backing off so that way it sticks. Because mine just went, I don't know where. It's a good thing I already have this one. But what this does is it actually helps you. So you corner round this way. And you can see where you get a nice rounded corner. But when you put it in on this other end, oh, here it is. Maybe. I found it. It just went off camera is all. So when you do your two-way corner rounding, you put your paper in, and now I can line up my paper exactly with where that sticker is and get the same placement every time I go to do my two-way corner rounding, if you will. It's called a two-way corner rounder for a reason, because you can do those rounded corners and you can also do these inverted corners, if you will. And for my innermost piece, I just thought it would be just an extra little touch to add some interest to use the second way of my corner rounder on that. And I have done a layout where I've lined up pictures next to each other that have this, and it just makes a beautiful design on the page as well. We're going to add some tape runner to our papers. Let's go ahead and start layering these. We do want to center these, and you can pull out your zero centering ruler if you want. I'm okay with it not being 100% super precise, I guess, if you will. And this one is going to layer on top of here. All right, so far so good, right? Now comes the somewhat tricky part. We are going to go ahead and start making our jasmine flowers on our centerpiece here. I'm going to start with the silver brush tip pen. And the interesting thing about jasmine is that they kind of look like starfish. It's really interesting. So when you're doing them, You just kind of make a starfish shape. It is going to have a circle in the center. And your kind of starfishy arms are coming off of the sides here. They do come to a little bit of a point at the end, but the petal themselves are a bit rounded on the way there. Not super rounded, just a little bit rounded. And you can do this with pencil first, but it's a little bit harder to erase, so I'm going for it here, and there's no reason why you couldn't also. And then you're just going to color in your petals using your brush tip pen as well. I just love the shimmer on this. And now that I have my first one placed, I am going to go ahead and fill in my center with my gold pen. Give it a quick shake. And then we're going to let this dry a little bit. But in the meantime, I am going to draw the kind of the trumpet part of the flower. The thing about the night blooming jasmine is it has this part on it you can see coming off of the flower. And we're going to draw some of that, and then we're going to add in our leaves towards the end. For my trumpet part, I am using the dot tip pen because it's the lighter color. And then we're also going to be filling in with our dual tip pen coming up. Now I've gone ahead and created a couple more for 2 more flowers. I think we're just going to have 3 flowers in our picture here, if you will. And I'm going to go ahead and start adding my petals to this one here. I'm going to fill in the green towards the top with the finer end of the pen once I get these other petals done, because it's okay to show them from slightly different angles as well. And this one's going to be coming in kind of from this other end here. Let's see if I can draw my circle here. All of my petals are now done. I just kind of wanted to give it some movement and make it look like we're looking at it from slightly different angles. I'm going to fill in these other 2 centers, and then I'm going to get started with working with the markers, and I will explain that in just a moment. That always goes quickly. The centers are small. And now we are going to take our darker green journal pen. It's our dual tip pen. We're going to use the smaller end of it, and we're going to add just a little bit of green around the outside of our center, just to give it a little bit of definition. And the darker color just really works here. So you just want to add a little bit. I'll hold it up to the camera in just a moment as soon as I get all 3 of these done. There we go. As quick as that. So this is where I'm at so far with my 3 night blooming jasmine. Let's pull back out our lighter green pen, our dot tip pen. And with this one, we are also going to use the finer end to finish filling in next to where our petals wound up on these other stems here. And we are going to actually add just a little bit of green through our centers as well with this. It just adds just a little bit of extra, kind of a little bit more naturalness, I guess, to it. We're also going to add a single swipe through the center of our petals. I tried it with 2 swipes and it wound up being too defined. So we're just going to, oops, that one wound up with 2. So you'll get to see the difference here in a minute. Just a single swipe through each one of the centers, a little bit through the middle here as well. And I'm going to turn this so I can get to it a little bit better. And just a few dots, a few squiggles. And that is all she wrote. Our night blooming jasmine are complete. And you can see I did draw in a stem down here as well. It's just a very subtle stem because we do have the printed background back here, and I'm okay with that. If you want to make yours darker and more defined, that's up to you. If you want to add some more jasmine over here, you're more than welcome to. I am happy with the way this is coming together. Next, I'm going to start adding some of our leaf shapes coming in. And I know these aren't exactly night blooming or the jasmine leaves, but you know what? This is what is quick and easy, and I think you'll see it's going to work once we get them on here. Kind of coming in from this other direction, I'm going to use my precision point adhesive to stick down my leaves, and we'll get this one finished up here. There are our leaves coming in and around. The nicest thing about our precision point adhesive is it goes on blue and it dries clear. Let's get our frame put together now. This is going to go underneath our piece of glass. And then, like I said, it's a dual paned frame. So there's another piece of glass right here as well. So essentially you have 2 pieces of glass between your picture and the outside elements. You can tell I'm used to dealing paper, not picture frame. There we go. Used my multi-purpose tool to help me out a little bit with getting that little bottom knob snug in there, and we're in business. We have our night blooming jasmine ready to go. Of course, I just did that upside down, didn't I? With it. All that. Here we go. Put you back in. Put you back in. Okay. So I got my piece snugged in there. I've got my top set in my frame, and we have our night blooming jasmine ready to go out on our porch or deck to add just a little touch of nature to our decks. We can either use the frame like that to hold it up, or we can hang it on the wall as well, because we have extra little holders here for it. I'm going to be putting it on my wall behind me in my craft room, but I will see if I can get it outside as well to show you all a shot of what it looks like outside. What do y'all think? Let me know how you like my night blooming jasmine. Once again, I would like to thank our hosts, Jody at Southern Seasons, Dawn at Shabby Meets Bling, and Monica at Up All Night for hosting this outdoor living challenge. I hope you all enjoyed seeing my interpretation of the night blooming jasmine, a little picture that you can put together to hang outdoors and add a little bit of beauty to your deck or porch, and also showed you how to use some of our newer Creative Memories pens along the way. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. I do love all of my subscribers and thank each and every one of you who comes back to continue to see what I am doing on my channel and what my brain is coming up for these challenges and scrapbooking pages that don't necessarily follow the sketches. Until next time.